What's up, YouTube? RetroBro here, and today I want to do a discussion on Pokemon Go, and I have my friend here, Ryan, also known as Black Rose. Say what's up to everybody, man.
Alright, how's it going?
So, I want to have a discussion with you on Pokemon Go and what you think about it so far. Also, maybe some of the things that you may have actually heard from the Pokemon community. I know I've heard a few things from some of my friends that are actually part of the Pokemon Twitter community, so I was going to give some of the feedback on some of the stuff they said, as well as some of the stuff I know just from digging after catching the trailer from a couple of the news sources I looked at as well. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
So what are some of the things you've actually heard about Pokemon Go from some of the Pokemon fans that you've actually spoken to?
Well, I first really heard about Pokemon Go over Facebook. I thought it was some sort of trolling thing, you know, because we've seen this sort of thing happen before. But then whenever I went on YouTube, this guy who I follow on YouTube, Proto Mario, who's pretty big onto Nintendo.
Oh,
Pokemon.
you're a Maverick, huh? I am too. Nice.
Yeah, I'm a Maverick. So yeah, I was watching his video on it and I thought, okay, this must be legit. So I watched a couple of other YouTubers who I knew were pretty big in the Pokemon community, like Next Level Otaku, people like that, and heard their opinions and watched the trailer for myself again. Personally, I think it is the biggest double-edged sword that could possibly happen to Pokemon. It can be both fantastic, but there's so much potential for disaster for it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. And as far as what you were referring to with what happened with Pokemon before, I'm assuming you're talking about last year, the whole Google Maps prank,
Yeah.
that little Pokemon minigame.
Yeah, that
Okay,
was
yeah,
horrible. I hated that so much.
Yeah, I actually never played it, but I've heard a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, for anyone that watched the Pokemon trailer but didn't go like read any news articles, the Pokemon Google Maps thing is the template for this game. Did you know that?
I've heard people using it as a template. I've also heard people using a sort of template that I've been using. I look back to the days of when they had those. I'm sure, since you're a fan of Pokemon, I'm sure you also know about Digimon.
Yep, and the Gigapets, which is funny because I know exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah.
How the motion sensors were awful.
I look back on the days when they had the wee handheld Digivice. You scan something and you get a Digimon. I look at that and I think this is what they've went for, but they're trying to make it so much more advanced, which has been years in the waiting for it to happen. But I think if they aren't very cautious and smart about what they do, that people would rather go back up and pick up that Digivice than play Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And my biggest thing was, I know technology has advanced a lot now, but motion control sensors are still very bad in gaming in general. Like, I think we can both agree that when it comes to motion controls, the best console for that is currently the Wii U, correct?
Correct. I'm a PlayStation fan all the way. Like, I don't hate on a console, bar the Xbox One. I hate that thing with a passion. But I'm
see,
not
me, I got a PS4, but I'm more of a PC fan. Like, I have both, but I'm more of a PC fan.
Yeah, I've always been
like,
a console gamer from child age, so I guess it's just sort of followed me, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I have been too. It's just that I like a lot of the indie selection that you get on PC. It's a lot of indie games that don't come to console that we get here that I like a lot. And then I'm not gonna lie, I like playing certain games and really high-end graphics that run 60 FPS. But just back on topic though, before I go into the whole PC spiel, like yeah, because I almost went there. I was like, hold on, it's not today's topic. But yeah, one of the things that used to kill me with the Digimon and the Tamagotchis was with the motion control sensor, you were supposed to just wear it on your hip or on your belt, and when it shook from you walking, it was supposed to make it walk to make events happen. But it really didn't happen too well. I remember we really used to just hold them in our hands and shake it vigorously to make it walk.
Yeah.
And you know, You don't think about it much. Oh, you were about to say?
Yeah, personally, whenever I look at it, I did read your short blog entry, sort of on the topic as well, just before we had this conversation.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just because I thought it'd be interesting to saw your point of view before we went in, just so I had things prepared, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I don't think that's the way it's going to work 100%. Like, the way I can... From what I've seen of the trailer, from what I've heard of people talking, and from what I can imagine, the way I imagine this playing out is, yes, they have that little wrist thing, and I know they said that thing vibrates, but I think what they meant by the whole vibration thing is that you don't need to shake your arm or anything for it to work. I really hope that they're not going to make it so that you have to actually pull your hand back and imagine you're throwing a Pokeball if you're wearing that. Like, I know it's an optional device, but let's face it, if I see any person...
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't have to do that either, like in the commercial how you saw him doing it, because that would just be really awkward in public.
Yeah, I would probably walk up to the person going, "What are you on, mate?" But, like, the way I can envision it working is people are just going to be walking around 24/7, phone up with their camera activated, unless they have that watch, because I think it vibrates if you have it active, if you're near, like, if you're within so many yards of a wild Pokemon or something.
I got you. So it's not the motion sensor to actually progress the game to move, but it's more of a motion sensor notification ordeal. It's almost like if you got a text message on the phone.
Yeah, it's pretty much like it's a way of preventing you from having to walk around with the phone literally on the camera the entire time, because let's face it, your battery would die unless you're one of those minted people who can afford the batteries with about a full day's worth of battery.
That's true.
But that's the way I can imagine it working. I don't think they would fall back onto the way Tamagotchi and Digimon did it. If they did, no one would want to buy it, and then that watch would be a necessity rather than a additional thing that they released, you know?
That's true. Now, how do you think microtransactions are going to work for this thing? I think that's a real hot topic that people really want to sink their teeth into. Though I haven't heard too many people talk about it on YouTube yet, as far as microtransactions go, but you see a lot more news articles bringing that topic up of microtransactions.
Yeah, it's my favorite topic and number one topic when it comes to this game. Whenever I saw the words free to play, I just called bullshit straight there and then. Yes, you can download the game for free, but it's going to be, you'll probably get so many Pokeballs and etc. on download of the game free of charge. But
I know what you mean. Like, if you're a casual gamer, then it's really not gonna bother you much. But for somebody that's competitive and wants to win,
yeah,
you're gonna
really bad
make all the advancements, which means you're gonna buy into it. I totally know what you mean.
The one thing that I need to see in this game, for me to call it a game and a success, is that if you do have say they have their categories, there's a basic player who just download the game, nothing to do with microtransactions, and then you have your sort of, I'm going to call them subscribers, who are people that will buy, who have bought or will buy into microtransactions. If you're a basic player, I want to see you get daily Pokeballs, you know, not necessarily stacking on top of each other, but you do get a daily amount. So if you haven't got five balls or something,
because there's a lot of free-to-play games where you get stuff for free, but you're waiting like every 3 days, so it's like you can't even play every day if you wanted to.
There's a load of games on my phone at the moment that I'll sit and play away at where things replenish over time, or they'll replenish by the next day. But I have got such a horrible feeling that with Pokemon Go, it's going to be, you get it, you get one-time exclusive items at the start. If you waste them, then you're going to go straight to microtransactions, or you have to watch stupid videos, or click on advertisements, or sign up for shit to just actually unlock extra items. And the one key thing...
I can see that happen.
The one key thing I've never seen any YouTuber or any news article jump onto yet is, if you watch the trailer carefully, you'll see that it's not just a Pokeball that's being used. I'm not sure what kind of one it was. I think it might have been an Ultra Ball. I think I remember it being purple. but I do distinctly remember there being a different evolution of Pokeball being used, and the way I can see microtransactions working is it will not just be, if you're in the UK for example, it won't be £1 per Pokeball. It'll be £1 per Pokeball, then maybe £5 per Great Ball, £20 per Ultra Ball, and then God knows what will happen to the Master Ball. God knows what price.
Now, you know what's going to be really interesting? Like, I know all of Gen 1 will be available currently, but they said the other gens will be counted too. I see those as being DLC.
That will be interesting because all of the trailer was focused around Gen 1. And how they're going to work the balancing of the game will be very, very interesting. The fact that I saw someone just walk into a field and a flipping Charizard's in front of him and he just throws a Pokeball and capture it. No, that... You need to, I know Pokemon's not realistic, but they need to be a little bit realistic with this game. If I see someone walking around with one Pokemon from that game and it's a bloody Charizard, I'm gonna call bullshit.
See, but that's where microtransactions come in with cell phone games. Like, somebody might just buy into having Charizard as a starter.
True.
Be like, I started with a level 5 Charizard.
And that leads into another topic, the starter system. Is there going to be a starter system? Are they going to give you a randomly generated Pokemon based on the area that you activate the game in? Are you going to get a choice of the standard 3 for a specific region? Or are they going to guarantee your first capture or first encounter as a guaranteed capture?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So many ways it could be played, and so little information has been given for a game that they have said will be released in 2016, and to say that so late into 2015 and not give as much information as that, I think is a very bad move, and I'm very surprised Nintendo is supporting this, because...
Well, I think the biggest thing with Nintendo right now is Nintendo's taking a leap of faith. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as we know, Nintendo is an old Japanese company that are really stuck in their ways of doing things like it's the 90s. Like, you know what I mean? And it's killing them to the point that they're now willing to try something new. Because as you see, they're not there yet, but they're trying to embrace YouTubers a little bit better, even though like they're still ridiculous at hitting people on YouTube with their videos and stuff. And then it seems like they're trying to slowly progress into catching up more with the times. And you know, they probably don't understand much about the cell phone market either. Yeah. So they're working with a company that's more familiar with making games and platforms for the mobile devices, and I think they're really just putting more faith into them since they don't quite understand it, if that makes any sense. Yeah,
that makes sense. The one thing I can say about Nintendo, the way I see, the only reason I can see that they've bought into this is this is a last-ditch effort for them to try and redeem themselves. I don't know if you've seen the sort of latest news, like everybody I'm sure who's watching this video knows Nintendo is really fucking up when it comes to YouTube. Like, the fact that Pokemon would have to be one of the most famous games I would see being let.
They've been killing people for Mario Maker lately.
Yeah, Pokemon, but
somebody with 300 views, only 300 views got hit up.
Yeah, I've been seeing that killed any Nintendo content. Even if you have a picture, I've seen people who had a picture on their screen for a few seconds and they were caught by copyright. That was beyond ridiculous, and Nintendo refused to destroy it. And I don't know if you've heard this news, so this may be something new for you. Nintendo have took it a step further. They are now attacking ROM hacks. So one of my favorite videos...
Wait, how do you hit somebody for ROM hacks? They're fan-made games.
Yep.
They're not their license.
Yep. So you haven't heard about it. Look up a YouTuber called after this video, and anyone who's watching this, hopefully there'll be a link for the video in the description. AlphaOmegasin. He usually talks about Resident Evil and things like that.
Oh yeah, I'm an AlphaOmegasin fan. I just haven't seen that video, but yeah, we're gonna leave the link to that video.
Yeah, check that video out. He's talking about how they are attacking ROM hacks and all that. Like, my favorite Pokemon Let's Plays to watch are the randomizer Nuzlocks. That brings me so much joy to watch that someone could have
oh wait, I think I have seen that video. It's the one where he was talking about they're hitting up people that's doing speed runs, huh?
Yep. That was my next topic.
Yeah, he made that a few days ago. Yeah, I saw that video.
That was my next topic. Speedrunners are being attacked. That is like the gaming community's probably biggest upcoming community at the moment would be speedrunners. Yes, we have our Let's Players. Yes, we have our blind Let's Players. Yes, we have all of our different genres and Pokemon communities and things like that. But speedrunners is probably one of the biggest sort of communities that is rising rapidly. And for Nintendo to attack them is a very dangerous move.
And it's like, I understand why it's growing, and it should grow. Because one of the things I see that I kind of have a gripe with in the gaming community, we have more entertainers on YouTube than we do skilled gamers, if you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Like, you see a lot of people who have big subscribers, ain't gonna call out anybody, but they're really interesting to watch and really talented at keeping people entertained with watching their games, but they're not that good. They're almost to the skill level of being a casual player. And then you'll have a few people that are really skilled at games, but they're not entertaining, and they're not really getting a lot of views because they're not an entertaining person, even though they're amazing at games. So I like the fact that we have these speedrunners who are doing like top notch in games that are starting to get recognition. Because back in the day, I don't know if you remember this far back, but in the 90s, it was all about really being skilled at games, because nobody was really watching commentary and comedy for a video game. If you wanted commentary and comedy, you either went to the movies or you watched the comedy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
So like, not saying anything against those guys, because I like watching it too, but I would like to see more people within the gaming community kind of going back to our roots and giving recognition to those people that deserve it too. You know what I mean? Like, share the wealth with them too.
Yeah, like there's my friend on YouTube, William, who's known as the Ultimate Game Boy. Like he loves speedrun and Spyro. Like, I would hate to see him being attacked by like the companies. For Nintendo to have done this. This is why, and this is going back to topic really of Pokemon Go. This is why I think Pokemon Go is sort of a risky. Like, I know Nintendo aren't making the game, but I know that they are supporting it. Like, this is like a big last-ditch effort for them. They're like, we know we are fucking up. We can't change what we have done. Yes, you can change what you've done. Get your finger out of your ass and change what you've done. And that's topic for another video, I'm sure. But they know that they need to get their hardcore fans on their side. And while I'm sure so many people would fight over what Nintendo's biggest seller is, in my opinion, and probably in Nintendo's opinion at the moment, Pokemon is definitely falling onto that sort of stratosphere. The show's still going strong. People still love it.
Yeah, like it's been up there for a few years, actually.
Ash is still flipping 13.
He's makes zero sense.
He's never gonna age. Let's face it. He's been drinking from the fountain of youth. I need to find out where that is. But like, it's their biggest game. So for them to be doing this, I'm surprised. Like, I'm calling that the next thing they'll do after Pokemon Go is virtual reality. They're gonna try and flip and do their own virtual reality version of Pokemon. Like, that's what I will expect to see next. I know it'll go horribly wrong, but I can see it coming.
The funny thing is, they've actually been low-key doing that for years, and I don't think a lot of people have really been paying attention. Like, have you ever bought any of those Pokemon programs from the Nintendo eShop that they have?
No, I haven't been, like, honestly, with Nintendo lately, I've been so pissed off at them about what they've been doing on YouTube. I've been sticking very far away from them and anything that they've been doing. I only jumped back on the bandwagon whenever I saw this Pokemon Go, and that's mainly because if it's successful and if it's not freaking forced microtransactions, I'm all for it. I think go for it. It'll be a fun game. Have you been smart about it though? Which I'm sure the next point after we finish this will be going into the pros and cons of the game, why we think it's a double-edged sword. But if they do it well, yeah, I could see it being a good game. If it's forced microtransactions, then it'll just be another reason for me to hate Nintendo lately.
See, and I think those were like probably the biggest pros and cons that we have, and I think we should probably go over those now, just so we can wrap it up a little bit.
Okay.
I don't want to make it too long, but
yeah, we're hitting close
I would
to 21
say
minutes now.
yeah, just about. I would say the biggest pros are that it's a new Pokemon game that's a little bit outside of the genre. Like, it's not like Pokemon Conquest or Pokemon Puzzle Challenge where it's too extreme, but it's a spin-off that's still very similar to the roots of a traditional Pokemon game that you would get for 3DS, NDS, GBA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other pro, let me know if you agree, I would say is this is a good way to expand the Pokemon fan base. And the way I see it is because there's a lot of people who really don't care much about video games that casually play video games on their cell phone. So to have this being a free-to-play game, even though they may not cared about Pokemon much before, being able to play it free on their cell phone, you know they're going to jump on it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I've stopped buying Nintendo products, not because of what's happened lately, but I think I bought a DS, and whenever it broke, I was like, "Fucking, I'm not spending my money continuously on this." Whenever I found out about emulators and ROMs, I was like, "No, I'm not spending my money anymore on this stuff just to play Pokemon. I will download the ROM and I will play it on an emulator whenever it comes out." Which is why I'm really hoping that Nintendo do wise up and don't attack that, because if they do, people like me will never be able to experience Pokemon anymore, because let's face it, I don't have, like, I could just go out today and buy a 3DS for just Pokemon, but I would hate myself for it. It's a waste of money. Like, I know it's a great game, but to buy a console for one game stands against everything that I am as a gamer.
Yeah, I can understand that. Like me, I have a 3DS, but you know, it's not strictly for Pokemon. I have a lot of games I play on.
Quite a few games on it.
I play Smash 4. I play Kingdom Hearts 3D.
Yeah, I would probably only play Pokemon. That would be
Phoenix
my problem.
Wright. Hey Ma, I'm just recording right now. It's cool. And that's not being edited out. 100% real discussion here on the show. Oh, but yeah, like I have a lot of 3DS games that I play around with, but yeah, I have the same mindset. Like, I refuse to buy anything that I'm only going to pay one game on.
Yeah, but what other sort of pros and cons do you think there is then to... I'll give mine after you're finished, of course.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you don't know your pros and cons then?
With the pros, I figure we'll both do our pros first and then we'll go to the cons list.
Okay. Well, pros-wise for me, as you said, it's a big, as was mentioned before as well earlier on, big jump in evolution for a Pokemon franchise. It's going to get a lot of people on the bandwagon. Like, the word free is still up for much deliberation, but if it is free the way other MOBA games are on it, where it's just pay to win, where I don't care if it's pay to win yet, that'll piss me off, but at least people can still play it without having to pay for it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But if it works like that, then so many more fans are gonna download this on their phone and actually enjoy it and play it, and Nintendo will win back a tiny little bit of respect from their fans. Another thing would be that finally Pokemon is going back to what I loved. Like, I loved whenever the GameCube started releasing Pokemon games, Like, I know that was still a Nintendo product, but I hated sticking to just handhelds. It was annoying me, mainly because the screens on the things are so damn small. Like, that's gonna lead to so many people having very bad eyesight. So that,
yeah, I know what you mean.
that was one of my biggest things about that. I was like, I would love to be able to play this on my PlayStation or my, like, or if someone on their Xbox, like a console, like,
Yeah, because
to see
the
them
3DS
branch
actually...
out.
Yeah, because the 3DS actually still has that problem. Like, I don't understand why after so many generations of making a handheld, but the 3DS still has, like, lighting issues.
Oh.
I don't know if it's because the colors are too bright in Nintendo games or anything, but yeah, like, if you're out, like, say you're on a bus ride to school or something, and you're playing a game, and the sun's really bright out, you can hardly play the game because you can't see.
Yeah. But that,
And you don't really have that problem playing games on a cell phone.
yeah. The final pro to the game I would see is that it's sort of promoting people to be a little bit more active. I can see it, like, when you look at the trailer and you see the Mewtwo event, people are sort of forced to be active to get onto that. So I can see
Yeah,
this
because
way.
the time limit.
It's not forcing people to go out and do a jog or go out on the bike or something, but it's forcing them to get off their ass out of their house and go for a walk to try catch something. Like, while it may not be ideal fitness, it is a way of sort of preventing anyone who may just lay on the couch and play Pokemon from continuing to lay on the couch. Gets them up and gets them to live a little. Sorry
Yeah,
for
that
anyone
makes
who may
sense.
be offended by that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, those would be my pros. Like, they'd be the only pros for me. That it's an advancement in Pokemon gaming. It's a potential step in the right direction, for my opinion, the way Pokemon should be, where it should not just be stuck on Nintendo handhelds and Nintendo sole consoles. That I hope to see it branch out a little bit more. It's on mobile now, that's not owned by Nintendo. I would love to see a PlayStation and Xbox, not just an exclusive to one of them, because exclusives are starting to really piss me off, but like a multi-platformed Pokemon game. I would love to see that, because that's even more fan base that would jump on, and it promotes people to be a little bit more active.
I got you.
And now we go on to the section where I'm sure we could go on forever. The cons.
Oh yeah, the cons. First con I have, and I think is the biggest, is Nintendo. Main reason being is because Nintendo is really big on, like, stopping YouTubers from showcasing stuff like this, which would actually help promote it in a positive light. Don't understand why they don't understand that. But quick question. Were you aware that there's actually a couple of YouTubers that upload strictly games that they play on their phones, like mobile games and stuff?
I don't personally watch anyone, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, because there's actually recording software where you can record your games and stuff on your cell phone and upload it to YouTube like that. And there's probably a couple of people that do that now that will play Pokemon Go. And I can see them and maybe a few other casual people that may just decide they want to put up videos of it because they enjoy the game or whatnot, getting dinged by YouTube, especially if there's someone that's, you know, doesn't upload too often and don't know all the ins and outs of this going on with YouTube like we do.
Exactly. My first
I think that's
con,
actually the biggest con.
Yep, I would have to agree with you there. One of my biggest cons, and this is the one that puts me in so much fear for everybody, and it's sort of two cons sort of brushed into one. Mobile phones these days are, let's face it, everything is getting ridiculously expensive these days to even purchase.
It's true. Standard cell phones, what, $300
Yeah,
for the regular plan?
exactly. Like, if you think about it, people are going to be buying phones like crazy, and they're going to be on a data plan. No one's going to stick to a Wi-Fi only phone anymore because, let's face it, I can almost guarantee that this app is going to force you to have Wi-Fi for you to be able to do anything or to have internet connection, which...
Unless you're lucky enough to be on T-Mobile, where they got those mobile hotspots.
Yeah, if you're that lucky to do that. But let's face it, that's going to be what's going to happen. But the biggest concern on that is Pokemon is a kid's game. I'm not insulting anybody out there. I am 22 years of age and I still play Pokemon. I am not calling anyone a kid, but it is primarily directed at kids.
But it's true. It is a kid's game. And if little Billy has a cell phone and he's going to school away from his parents, somebody's going to turn data on to catch Pokemon. Yep.
If I was a parent and my 6-year-old son came up to me and was like, Dad, I want a mobile phone. I like, the fuck do you want a mobile phone for at your age? And if they turned around and said, oh, I need it to play the new Pokemon game, I would be the single most pissed off parent in history, for one thing, and secondly, I would never give my son that phone. But I know that there's so many people out there that would give their children a phone because they'll cry
before they hit the teenager stage.
Yep, they'll cry and they'll bitch so much that their parents will be like, I can't do this anymore, give them the damn phone, let them play a stupid game. And that's putting...
It's true.
It's opening up those children to very bad exposure. Not only will they have free roam of the internet pretty much, but let's face it, pedophiles could get their phone numbers and things like that. And I know that's a completely different topic, but it is related. With a mobile phone comes a lot of responsibility.
It is, because there is a trade feature in the game too.
You don't know who you're going to be walking up to and sharing your information with. Like, you may think a pedophile could walk up to you and go, I'll trade you a Charizard for this. And it's like, they're getting their information. Like, a kid can't handle a mobile phone. They just can't do it. But so many kids are going to have them.
And they definitely can get their information because, I don't know if you saw my video on this, but the guy that killed the 3 people that were part of the same family.
Oh yeah, Google Maps
used Google Maps to actually, like, target people that were rich within the area. So it's like a pedophile could do the same thing and target kids playing Pokemon. Like, it's that scary and that dangerous because Google Maps has way too many applications. It's too powerful of a program.
It's going to be so dangerous for kids. And the second point that I was going to make, which is linked to the first one, if you don't have that wristband and it doesn't vibrate to let you know that you are near a Pokemon, you're going to be standing there with your camera in front of your face the whole time, looking around trying to find a Pokemon. So not only will you be causing accidents on the footpath, my single biggest fear is that some poor child is going to turn around and he's going to see a Pikachu out in the middle of the main road. He's going to run after that thing to try to capture it, and he's going to get run down by a car.
Yeah, that could happen too. Get tunnel vision. Kids do it with, like, balls and stuff when they're playing baseball or kickball on the street all the time.
Not even that. There is no confirmation from the makers of this game that they are restricting where Pokemon are going to appear. For all we know, a fucking Pokemon could appear on Mount Everest.
That's true.
There has been no guaranteed
especially when they show it in their trailer.
There's no guaranteed restriction to where these Pokemon are going to appear. So there's too many dangerous areas that they could appear where a kid or even an adult could accidentally run out into to try capture a Pokemon.
That's so true.
But they would be my 2 biggest cons to that. Obviously another con's microtransactions, but we've covered that. We don't need to go into another 20-minute debate about it.
Yeah, I think that'd be the number 3 slot. But yeah, I think that's good for today, man.
Yeah,
it's definitely a good discussion. I'd like to go longer, but you know, YouTube, retention span, try not to go too long of videos. But it was great having you on the show.
Yeah, thanks very much. Great being here.
Definitely, man. So I want you guys to check out Black Rose if you can. I'll put the link in the description to his channel. Also, of course, in the description, I'll have the links to all my news articles I checked out, and we'll have a link to AlphaOmegasin so you guys can check out his video as well. So if you like the video, go ahead, comment, subscribe. A little tongue-tied there. And let us know in the comment section below what you think about Pokemon Go. Whether it's hit or miss, whether you're excited for it. Like, I mean, I'm on the fence on whether it'll be good or bad, but I'm still excited for it. Like, you better believe when it's out, I will have it downloaded.
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably be like the first person to download it.
Yeah, definitely. We're all going to download it, despite being on the fence about it. We're going to do it. You're never going to get rid of those worries. And please, all those Nintendo lovers out there, I know we've probably bashed Nintendo quite a bit in this video. Please do not flipping attack our channels, attack our comments, and we're not flaming Nintendo. Like, fair enough, if you believe what they're doing lately is right, then that's your opinion. Our opinion is that what they're doing right now is not right, so let's not start these stupid fights in the comment section. Like, let's face it, Proto Mario's had to go through that already, and that's took videos to resolve.
Yeah, like, I agree with a lot of Proto's opinions, man. Like, he keeps it real. That's why I like his channel.
Yeah, so guys,
but yeah,
please no flamers about Nintendo. Let's not start that topic. This video is for Pokemon Go.
Definitely. But other than, I've been RonnRetrobro, and I am signing out.
See you later, man.
What's up, YouTube? RonnRetrobro here, and today's news is actually going to be pretty funny.